Welcome back. Well, move over Hinge and Tinder. If you are looking for love, grab your VR headset. Our virtual reality dating apps, the next new way to find a special someone. Well, unlike dating apps filled with photos, virtual dating apps like Nevermet lets users connect through avatars. And it's not just about chatting. You can party, go to bars, and other magical worlds together. None of it in real life, but in the metaverse. But just like dating in real life, the metaverse is already seeing its fair share of challenges, and we have some questions about all of this. So joining us now, the CEO of Nevermet, Cam Mullen, and Nevermet is one of these new virtual dating platforms. Cam, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Natasha.
So Cam, you say you want to change the dating market. Do you believe that there's a future where an entire relationship can take place on a headset?
For some people, it'll be a bigger deal than for other people. Today, there are tens of thousands of people on Nevermet who are meeting people through virtual reality and going on amazing dates. They're going to watch movies together. They're going to nightclubs. They're socializing. And for some of them, they stay in the metaverse. I spoke with a user who's in the Army and travels around so much that this user was actually just looking for a digital relationship. But we have other users who have already met and moved in together. And so it really comes on a person by person basis.
That's so interesting. So can you explain the service? You match with another person on the dating platform. You arrange to meet up in the metaverse. And what do these dates actually look like? Do you ever actually see the person's face, or is it really just these avatars that we see?
So Nevermet is a personality first dating app. Here's how it works. Users will download our app on their iPhone or Android and make a profile with their virtual reality avatar. So, and then they'll scroll and connect with other people and plan a date in a virtual reality metaverse. So they'll put on their headset and they'll go to a nightclub, or they'll play bowling, or they'll play ping pong, or they'll watch a concert together. And you get to really test the compatibility of the personality of the person you're meeting with. You get to design your avatar and express yourself freely exactly how you want. And some of these relationships will then decide to share what they look like in the real world. And some will eventually plan a meetup, and some will move in together. And many people have gotten married who met through the metaverse.
Wow.
So it varies.
And I want to point out, your company's not alone in this space. There's Flirtual, there's several others, and we've seen how the pandemic has impacted disconnection and loneliness. You know, more than half of U.S. adults say that they're lonely. It's even higher for some groups of color, and almost 80% of young people say that they are lonely. Do you think that virtual dating and less actual FaceTime is a positive thing?
So think about half the world, roughly half the world, that lives in rural communities. And those people are limited by the amount of potential partners in their area. And they're limited in the type of dates and things they can actually do based on their actual vicinity. And these people have a lot to benefit from virtual reality dating, because they actually get to experience something that maybe they can't do in the world around them. And they get to authentically be themselves, even if they don't feel as comfortable doing that in the community in which they live. And so there's some amazing benefits that come with this tech. And for some people, that will be a bigger benefit than others.
And Cam, I want to make sure that we get to this point, because I think safety is a big issue, right? The metaverse is still in its infancy. It has a lot to work out. And earlier this year, we did see a troubling headline. A researcher who went into the metaverse to study user behavior in Horizon World says that she only was there for an hour before her avatar was raped. And there have been homophobic and racist slurs as well. So I know this is a tough question. I appreciate you playing ball with us. You know, the nonprofit that detailed the assault said, quote, "We think these incidents show that Meta needs to pause its headlong rush into the metaverse. It has shown it's unable to moderate existing platforms, causing serious harm to individuals and communities." Do you think this tech is ready?
So safety is our number one concern. And on Nevermet, we're an app for adults only, and we're the only metaverse dating app that allows for government scanning of your ID to confirm and confirm your age and have confidence of the age of the people you meet. Now, the instance you're describing is a situation that Meta has attempted to solve with this new safety bubble. And so users now in Meta Horizon worlds, by default, have a bubble that no one can enter without that user's permission. And so it is an industry that's moving fast. There are tens of millions of people buying headsets and getting in, and there are many parts of this industry that are working hard to be proactive with safety, such as some of the measures I've described, and yet the benefits that come along with being able to express yourself freely, connect with people across cultures all over the world, do things from the safety of your own home, and meet people are really special and worth noting. So we're really thrilled about the future here. We expect 1 billion people in the metaverse in the next decade, and we're excited for more people to give it a try.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.